Ooh, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Darku, and as you can see with us, we've got our Jirachi. And as you can see, we have got this tonight, and I'm going to be showing you in this video how you and your friends can also get your Jirachi using our strat that we've cooked up in the Pookies. I mean, look how cute this little thing is following me around. This little Jirachi is so great. Alright, so before we get right into the business, let's just quickly announce, okay? If you're not in the Darku's Pookies Discord already, what are you doing? Make sure you join, because I mean, look at this. Literally, we have all the Christmas stuff, Christmas callouts, the link up, where all the Starmie locations are, extra help and info, and then we also have this info tab, which goes over every single alpha raid, the strats, locations, everything you need to know, which is truly, truly amazing. And as you can see, we've got this Jirachi one right here, and if we actually go inside of it, you can see that it's all nice and clean information. I mean, just look at this. Look at this. Oh-wee! Yeah, you're right. It's damn right good. If you're not in the Pookies already, make sure to join. Link in the description and in the top comment of this video. Anyways, enough self-promotion. Let's show you and your friends how you can get your Jirachi this raid. I'm going to be showing you the team, and then we're going to be going over the strats, and then we're going to be going over the actual raid itself, as I recorded the whole thing, and we can basically tell you exactly what goes on. So we're obviously going to go over the basics before we go right into the deep end with this, is how do you even get to this location to even see this raid den for Jirachi, right? Obviously, if you're new to this, or if you haven't just finished your raids yet, you won't be able to see this, but this is the wishing star. You get the wishing star by getting 12 of these Pokemon wish tags together. If you're wondering how you get those wish tags together, you need to do all of the alpha raid dens that are in the Christmas event. This is not the Suicune one, that's an optional event if you want to do the Suicune one, but this is the alpha Glaceon, Raichu, Stantler, Chimecho, Saucebuck, Beartic, Clefable, Tangrowth, Vanillux, Togekiss, Gardevoir, and the Salamence raid. Once you've done all of those, you'll get a Pokemon wish tag after every single one. Once you've got all 12, it will make this wishing star, and then you can click on the wishing star and use it, and it will TP you here to this island. And this is Birth Island. It's actually in Kanto, as you can see. But yeah, so this is Birth Island, and you need to use the wishing star to get here. Alright, so as you can see, there's two raid dens on this island. The left-hand side is the level 80 Jirachi raid, which is obviously what we're going over in this video. And this you have to beat to unlock Jirachi in the first place, and then you can just throw a Pokeball or something at it and claim the Jirachi. It's a 100% catch rate, so don't worry about throwing just a Pokeball if you defeat the raid. But that is the left-hand side one. The raid den on the right-hand side is the level 100 raid den for Jirachi, which is slightly different and it has different mechanics. However, you would only do that for the IV up and down item. The IV up and down item for Jirachi this year is the blank wish tag. So this can only be used with the Pokemon from these evolution lines, and it's just Jirachi. And like I said, all it does is increase and decrease the IVs of Jirachi. So if you want 31 IVs, you're going to have to buy a couple of these to make sure you can get 31 on all your IVs, of course. So yeah, you can basically redo this down. I'm pretty sure it's 6 hours. This is the level 100 one, but we're not going over that one in this video. You can repeat this to constantly get the tags, obviously, but we're going to go over the one on the left, the level 81, which you have to beat to unlock Jirachi. Let's go over some key features before we jump into the raid. Of course, like the other videos we have done, the damage cap you can do to Jirachi is 6% of its HP. You cannot go over that. That is literally the cap damage. The item that it holds is the new item called Room Service, so that when Trick Room takes effect, the holder's speed is lowered. And yes, Jirachi uses Trick Room on you later on, but obviously we're going to go into that information now. The summonable adds that it can summon with it to help it is Clefairy. It's always Clefairy, by the way, but beside Clefairy, it can be Flareon, Salamence, Togekiss, Gardevoir, or Pikachu. The moves that Jirachi actually has is Iron Head, Drain Punch, Psychic, and Hidden Power. We believe it's Hidden Power Water, but we could actually be incorrect as well. It could be Rock or something like that, but we're pretty sure it's Hidden Power Water. So let's go over the mechanics of the raid fight. Of course, you know, the percentage of the HP. So if Jirachi is at 100% HP when it starts the fight, it will activate Doom Desire, and that goes off the next turn and it'll hit your entire team. So what happens is turn 2, straight away, Doom Desire comes in and just smacks at your team. At around 75 to 73% HP, it activates Doom Desire again, does the same thing. Next turn, it'll hit all your team with Doom Desire. At At around 50% HP, it'll use Protective Shield. Now you need to use super effective moves to actually break through this. But obviously we'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. At around 25% HP as well, it'll activate Trick Room, which obviously if you're a fast Pokemon, you're now going to move last, and if you're a really slow Pokemon, you're going to move really fast. Alright, now that we've gone over the mechanics, the moves, and all the other things that we've gone over, we're now going to quickly show you the team. So obviously this is a team of 4 people in this link, and just to clarify, you do not need your own OTs for this raid fight. You can use any OTs, there is not an OT clause on this raid. So as I say, let's go over the teams. Obviously, the team is 4 players, so let's go over player 1's team that was used during this fight. We've got a Typhlosion, a Darmanitan, a Rotom, a Charizard, an Infernape, and an Entei. And I will now bring up the Pokepaste for this as well that me and Pud put together, and it obviously shows you the EVs, the moves used, the items used, the ability, and the natures of the Pokemon. Furthermore then, let's go over team number 2. So this is the second player. They had a Ninetales, a Darmanitan, a Typhlosion, a Flareon, a Volcarona, and a Chandelier. Once again, I'm going to be bringing up this Pokepaste that me and Pud have put together, and you can see all of the items, abilities, natures, moves, and EVs as well. It's pretty self-explanatory at this point as well, although the IVs do not pop up on the Pokepaste. It's pretty self-explanatory what you're going to need. Obviously, you want to try and get 31 in possibly your speed, and you want to get 31 into your attack, or your special attack, depending on what you're going to be using. I will say, now and again, it would be good to pump some high special defense in here too against Jirachi. So if you have like a Pokemon with maybe 20 or plus IVs and special defense, that would obviously be better than something with just 1 special defense, because Jirachi is going to be hitting you with special attacking moves. On to Team 3 then, this is player 3. We used a Sableye, a Chandelure, an Entei, a Moltres, Cofarigus, and a Charizard. I'm sorry I've probably butchered one of those names obviously, but that's the team for number 3. Once again, bring up the Pokepaste that Pud and I put together. There's, you can see the items, the abilities, the natures, the EVs, and the moves. I should note as well, if you're looking and you can't see the nature like on Sableye, it's because the nature itself doesn't matter. Once again, same for the EVs and extra moves. You'll only see him probably 1 move, and that's because that's all you need to use before you get the sacrificial sack. On to Team 4 then, that's player 4. We're using the Murkrow, a Chandelure, a Volcarona, a Moltres, Infernape, and a Typhlosion as well. Once again, bring up the Pokepaste so that you can see all of the items, the abilities, the natures, and the EVs, as well as the moves used in this video and strategy. And before we move on any further, like I said, every bit of information I have mentioned so far, including the entire strategy that I'm going to go over, is written in the Darku's Pookies Discord server. So if you haven't joined already, make sure you join. Alright, so now we're going to transition over to the actual raid fight, and we're going to be talking over there as key points pop up. I'm going to let you enjoy the fight, of course, but we're obviously going to mention some stuff as it happens. Ladies and gents, we're about to jump into the raid, and I want to give you some important advice before we go in. When we go into this fight, you want to make sure that you are against the ads of Clefairy and Gardevoir. You do not want to be against any of the other ads, so if you're doing this with your friends, make sure to keep forfeiting until you see the Clefairy and the Gardevoir start. So as I said previously, I am going to try and stay quiet, let you enjoy the raid, and you can take notes as well, but I am going to chime in here now and again, just to let you know what kind of moves we're using and what kind of items and stuff are having an effect. E.g. right now we have the Typhlosion out, Ninetales, the Sableye and the Murkrow, and the Ninetales is purposely slower than the Typhlosion, and the Typhlosion is purposely in slot 1 in our link chain. Now the Typhlosion's actually going to use Eruption that can hit Jirachi for really big damage and kill the Clefairy. We want the Clefairy dead ASAP as it has Friend Guard, and we don't want that protecting the Jirachi. Not only that, we're going to hit the Jirachi with an Overheat from the Ninetales to get some nice chunky damage. The Sableye is going to put up a light screen, obviously it's holding the light clay so it lasts longer, and the Murkrow is going to be using the Tailwind as well. It's worth mentioning as well the Typhlosion in position 1 right now is the one with the Assault Vest, so it can absolutely tank 1 or 2 attacks. Switching into turn 2 then, you'll notice that the Doom Desire comes down and smacks the entire team. Now it will kill the Typhlosion unfortunately, however it does make the Ninetales weak, and the third position Chandelier actually has the Focus Sash, so it lives on 1 HP, and Dave is just built different in position 4, so he doesn't die by it either. He actually has like a really high special defense, obviously you've seen on the Poke Paste, so that's why he survived specifically, and the one in position 3 did not have that. So into turn 2, obviously, other than tanking the attacks, we're using Fake Tears from Ninetales to weaken the enemy, we're using Overheat from one of the Chandeliers, and Flamethrower from the other one as well. Here we go then, turn 3, we're going absolute raw power. We have 2 Darmanitans that are going to be using Flare Blitz. We're going to have an Entei in position 3 using the Sacred Fire, and in position 4 we're going to have a Volcarona using the Fury Dance. Or is it the Fiery Dance? Don't know, let me know in the comments. Is it Fiery or Fury Dance? Let me know. But anyway, that's what they're going to be using. So going into turn 4 then, you'll notice that the Darmanitan and the Entei stayed alive. This is actually good news. Obviously you want the most Pokemon you possibly can during this entire raid. If you can survive hits, that's perfect. You'll actually watch the Darmanitan get hit by the Doom Desire and die, but that's perfectly fine. That saved one of the Pokemon for position 2. So here you'll see the Rotom come out and a Moltres as well, obviously getting the hits off. You got the Overheat, the Sacred Fire, and the Overheat once again from the Moltres. There we go. After that turn, you can see Jirachi is now under 50% HP and it is activated the barrier. So we're going to be sending in the Charizard, which basically hits cap damage using the Flamethrower. We've got a Typhlosion using Flamethrower as well for cap damage. In position 3 we've got the Moltres, which does actually get KO'd, and in position 4 we've got the Infirmip using Choice Scarf to make sure it goes super fast, and using Fake Tears. This obviously shreds the defense of the Jirachi. Alright, into turn 6 then you can see that we have the Infernape using a Choice Band, but it is going to use the Flamethrower for only a measly 2.6% damage. We've got the Typhlosion still alive using Choice Specs, and it's going to Flamethrower for almost cap damage once again. It was one of those Pokemon that stayed alive. In position 3 we have the Cofagrigus coming out with the Ghost Gem, and it's actually going to use the Trick Room, and if you didn't know already, Trick Room has like a -7 priority, so it's a guaranteed last move happening, and obviously Jirachi's almost at that percentage of HP where it uses Trick Room, so we're going to use the Trick Room preemptively ready for the Jirachi Trick Room. In position 4 we have the Typhlosion using a Choice Specs and Flame Burst. Flame Burst was not the initial move we wanted to use Flamethrower, but our Typhlosion actually had Eruption and Flame Burst and not Flamethrower, and the Flame Burst was less likely to kill the Gardevoir, that's why we used it, and it actually hit cap damage anyway with Choice Spec and Flame Burst. So there we go, right at the end of turn 6 you can see that majority of the team have been taken down. Cofagrigus is obviously standing because it's very, very tanky. Into turn 7 then you can see that the Entei is going to come out, and it's actually going to use Sacred Fire this turn with Charcoal being a held item. We've got the Flareon coming out using Flare Blitz with a Choice Band hitting the cap of 6% damage. The Cofagrigus with Ghost Gem is actually going to use Shadow Ball here, although if your enemy is burnt you should absolutely use the Hex move. If it's not burnt, you can use the Shadow Ball if your Cofagrigus is obviously still alive. And in position 4, unfortunately, does get KO'd this turn. So here we go into turn 8 then, and the final turn. It actually only takes 8 turns to defeat this boss with this strategy. You'll notice that in player 1 and player 4 are knocked out already, but player 2 and player 3 actually have another 1 or 2 Pokemon in the back end because their Pokemon obviously didn't take too much damage during this entire raid fight. Position 2 brings out Volcarona with a Flame Plate hitting that Fiery Dance, or a Fiery Dance, depends on what you want to call it, which actually finishes this raid fight off in the end. However, before that, in position 3 we have a Charizard using the wrong item in fact, but you can use something like a Charcoal, and it uses Blast Burn, which is one of those like starter only moves, and it actually hits basic cap damage as well. So there you go, ladies and gents, that is how we did it. Now that it doesn't rely on some Pokemon living and some not kind of situation. During this raid, obviously they got super lucky and had extra Pokemon in the back. However, it is noted that you actually don't need your Pokemon to survive the entire way through. Like I said, position 2, position 3, they had 1 or 2 extra Pokemon in the back that were not needed, but obviously it's nice to have those backups, so it is obviously worth putting in some special defense during this raid, however not absolutely needed. So there we go, ladies and gents, they subdued the Legendary Jirachi of 2024's Christmas event. I hope this guide helps you, hope you can make a great team, or even a better team in fact, because I'll tell you what, right now, even looking back at the Pokepace and stuff, we had like a Chandelure with like Timid and stuff, and you know, it could have had special defense and it wouldn't have needed Focus Sash, for example. There's a lot of things that you can min-max about this raid that we didn't do in this one, but we still succeeded. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, I hope this helps you get your Jirachi, and I hope it doesn't make you and your friends pull your hair out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the video, and don't forget to join the Pookies Discord for more future guides and amazing ones just like this. See you on the video, guys. See ya!